According to research, Earth is losing ice faster than ever before. Gravitational data compiled over 8 years from 2002 by University of Colorado professor John Warr demonstrates just how much ice is being lost.
What we found was that the world is losing an enormous amount of ice every year. Something like 550 billion tons of ice melts, goes into the ocean, raises sea level. And over the 8-year period, that amounts to a little over 4 trillion tons of ice. And if you work it out, you find that's enough ice that if you change it into water, which it has been done, and you spread it over the United States, that would reach a thickness of 1.5 feet. Everywhere over the U.S., about that much water. We'd be wading through that much water just from the ice that's melted from the land areas over the last 8 years.
When ice sheets and glaciers lose ice, they also lose mass, and those changes in mass affect their gravitational pull. By measuring the ever-changing distance between a twin pair of satellites that orbit the planet, Warr and his team were able to track those changes in gravitational pull and tell how much ice was lost.
By looking at this change in distance, you can figure out how much Antarctica weighs, basically, how much mass is there. And then you can come back again next month, do it again, see if it's, gained mass.
Instead of gaining mass, Warr says the research shows that Antarctica and other ice-covered regions on Earth are losing mass faster every year. Climate researcher William Colgan is seeing the effects of this massive ice-to-water conversion on Greenland's glacial lakes. Colgan is using satellite imagery to create the most precise map of these lakes to date.
When you have an almost daily image of the lakes in Greenland, what's really cool is you can follow the size of a given lake through time, through 1 year, through many years. You can watch that lake grow, you can watch that lake shrink, and occasionally you can watch that lake catastrophically drain.
A catastrophic drainage is when a glacial lake vanishes in a matter of hours. The increased weight of the lake due to ice melt causes the bottom to crack and the water to drain out.
When we looked at what was happening to the lakes relative to what was happening with the annual melt that was occurring, it quickly became evident that in higher melt years, when more of the ice sheet is melting because it's warmer, there were more lakes, they were at higher elevations, and they were experiencing more of these catastrophic drainages.
Colgan's lake research and John Warr's global ice melt data both point to the influence of global warming.
All I can really do, and my colleagues can do, is sort of turn over our results to policymakers, and I have to go with them to decide what to do. But I think clearly a good portion of that has got to be to continue to monitor what's going on, try to figure out just what's causing what's going on, and what can we do to slow down those causes.
And as the technology improves, so will the quality of the data, although both scientists agree that there's already enough evidence of danger ahead for policymakers to take action. Ben Gruber, Reuters.